Hello everyone! This is Saurian Target welcoming you back to another episode of Hunting Highlights, where this week we're back playing some more Carnivores Legacy. Now I know that most of our hunts in this series so far have been successful, but that is not the case for today's episode. Today I'm going to walk you guys through several Carnivores Legacy hunts I've had over the past few weeks that are all bound together by one thing: tragedy. As for how and when each tragedy strikes, well, you'll just have to watch the video and find out. So without further ado, let's begin. So today we're starting off down on the southern coast of the pyramids of Shmu-Hadron, with some heavy footsteps thudding just out of sight to our right. The culprit does turn out to be a decent-sized Carnotaurus, and the wind is literally blowing right at it. But it's facing away and hasn't picked us up yet, so I'm gonna try to follow it and hope for a decent shot opportunity. So long as this Attachosaurus doesn't interfere. Now I don't want to get too close and risk it smelling me, but I have to get close enough to at least see that tiny eyeball mortal zone. So I keep crouched and maintain what I think is a decent distance between us. Finally, the Carno turns broadside, and one eye shot is all I need to drop that menacing monster. If you've played Carnivores Legacy, you know that hunting Carnotaurus is a nerve-wracking affair. They are fast, they are armored, and their mortal zones are minuscule. So I've just brought as many weapons as I could afford and set out on an early morning hunt to maybe catch most of these monsters while they're sleeping. I'll need every advantage I can get. So with a beautiful Shmu-Hadron sunrise to light the way, my plan is to head to the island's southeastern corner and then start trekking back up to the northwest to put the wind in my favor. My hike across the island's central desert brings me to an Allosaurus that's moving out of the jungle to bask in the early morning sun. These smaller predators probably spend most of their time out here in the central Badlands, since the bigger preds like Gorgosaurus and Antrotomus likely rule over the greener oases to the north and south of the island. So it's fairly common to catch smaller predators like this out here in the more desolate open areas. One headshot later, and this basking Allosaurus is cooled down for good. And after making sure the coast is clear, I spot what I hope is a lone Velociraptor out in the distance. It too is resting out in the morning sun, and I certainly don't want to keep hunting Carnotaurus knowing that a raptor itself is hunting nearby. So I move through the foliage at the edge of the desert to keep myself hidden while I sneak in for a decent shot. The raptor's keen eyes spotted me through the ferns, but the hunting shotgun can put down a lone pack animal with no problem. And with nothing coming in to get me, I keep making my way towards the northern jungles. Deeper in the jungles, I hear a Rhynchynia not too far away, but what I see turns the little egg eater into an afterthought. A sleeping Carnotaurus, and it's huge. I know Rhynchynia are aggressive, and I need to deal with this one before I tackle the Carno. But as I finally spot the little omnivore, another large Carnotaurus wanders out of the morning mist, and to my horror, it's not alone. My calculated risk paid off. The Rhynchinia and all 3 Carnotaurus appear to have scattered. To my amazement, the first sleeping Carnotaurus actually didn't hear the gunshot, so I decide to hone in on it before I go after the other 2. Unfortunately, a 4th Carno is already awake and on the prowl, throwing a monkey wrench into my plan. If it'll just leave, I can focus on the sleeping one again. Luckily, it does. But a smaller one is hunting on my side of the ravine. And with the arrival of a 6th Carnotaurus, I'm starting to doubt my chances of survival. Our next hunt has started us off down in an oasis to the south, but don't let the morning lull of chirping songbirds, cool water, and drowsy moschops lower your guard. After a quick but intense battle, this oasis is down 1 raptor, and the commotion startles off a Pinacosaurus. Luckily, this raptor was also alone, and with my nerves recovered, I'm ready to pursue the little blue ankylosaur. A short, squat animal, Pinacosaurus is painfully slow, and it doesn't take long for me to catch up to it. But a hunting Carnotaurus probably has the same idea, and I decide to let the Pinacosaurus go in favor of dealing with the more immediate threat. At this point, the wind is atrocious, but the Carno still hasn't noticed me yet, and I ready the revolver for what I hope will be a quick takedown. For a second, I think the Carno might actually just leave. Our third and final hunt today drops us onto the western shore, where a small Carnotaurus is looking to scavenge the remains of a washed-up Mosasaurus carcass. The wind is neutral, and the smaller carnivore seems to be taking its time out in the open, so I feel pretty good about waiting for a good shot opportunity. I slide over to the seawall to make sure the wind isn't gonna give me away. And when the little Carno finally turns its head, not my best shooting, but it gets the job done. And we can at least start this hunt with one less Carnotaurus to worry about. As I enter the southern jungles, I almost walk right up on a sleeping Carnotaurus. Yet again, the wind is terrible, and I've only got one round left in the revolver cylinder before I need to reload. So I can't rely on it to get me out of any trouble I run into here. Still deep in sleep, the Carno hasn't smelled me, which gives me plenty of time to set up a perfect shot. One bullet, one more Carno down. And with nothing coming after me, I can continue this hunt in relative peace. Closer to the southern coast, I spot an enormous Carnotaurus hunting among the sand dunes. Turns out it was just hunting for a place to lie down and rest, which gives me an opportunity to fix my terrible wind disadvantage. I keep the Carno in my sights as I sneak my way across the scorched earth, making sure to stay as low and as quiet as I can. Finally, the shot angle is perfect, but dinosaur hunting is quite a tricky business. Alright, so there you go guys. 3 strikes and I am out. The Carnotaurus may have won these battles, but the war is far from over, and I'm sure we'll get him next time. But I hope you guys are still enjoying these little hunting highlights, even when our hunts end in defeat. So be sure to let me know down in the comment section below, what are your best tips and tricks for hunting Carnotaurus in Carnivores Legacy? I'll take all the help I can get. Thanks as always for watching guys, you are all truly the best, and I will see you guys next time.